downtown Tokyo, we gotta go fight it. Something to make me buy that the Gatchaman are meaningful.
Well, right now in season 2, there's a fucking red-skinned alien who came down, and now the alien is running for fucking president of Japan.
Alright, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's a funny setup, and it's weird, and you can get in a lot of stuff. Like, I feel like season 1 wanted to do a lot, but I think because it got its episode count cut, it couldn't do anything. It's like I constantly kept sitting there thinking, okay, this could be a neat idea, like OD is a 300-year-old half-human, half-alien. That could be really interesting. Utsu seems to be some sort of, she almost makes it sound like she's not exactly human, she doesn't really know what she is. That could be really interesting. When you just focus on the two most boring characters on screen, and then you have these two very interesting, very likable, fascinating characters just in the background, just chewing up scenery like it's nobody's business, it just makes the whole show flow inconsistently. Like, every time a fight started, it had that badass score, and it's used for nothing. Like, it starts off with Gatchaman, and then bump-a-da-bump-a-dump.
Yeah, speaking of that, I love the soundtrack, or the ODST of fucking Gatchaman.
Oh, yes.
Like, every piece of music, when this is the first anime that I've ever watched that actually had dubstep in it, which, you know, up until that point, like, I liked dubstep, but I just never thought that anime had gotten to the point where they used it. Not to mention, one of my friends found this anime on his own, and he was like, you should watch this. I was like, you know what, fuck it, sure, I'll watch it. And it took me a while to actually get it, like, to actually find the time to watch it, but I was really glad that I did. But every piece of music is just amazing.
Yeah. The music was really cool. That's sort of like saying Mortal Kombat should be a legitimately good movie because it's got a cool soundtrack, but yeah. You do really get the feeling that they were really ambitious with this. I mean, you look at the one, my favorite Gatchaman design was the guy with the fire head.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a jerk.
Like the Oni kind of guy.
Yeah, I felt he was really underused as well. It was just sort of like, you know, he's like, oh, I'm just here to fight and be tough and be the loner punk. And that was kind of just it. Like, I never got the feeling that, yes, the only one who really seems to take himself too seriously is the blonde kid, and I felt fair enough, yeah, he should be the one who takes himself seriously, but I would have liked, if we're going to spend a lot of time talking, let's go into backstory. Let's actually learn about everyone. But a lot of it, I thought, was really just wasted on the typical stuff. You know, like talking about, oh, we need to have a PR campaign, and we can use the internet, and all that is good ideas, but I never felt anything went anywhere. I never got the feeling that if the Gatchaman were here, them doing the internet stuff made a difference, because people could, because Rui was really the only one who did anything.
Well, yeah.
What did you feel about making Rui a transvestite?
At first I was like, because like, when I first watched this show, I was kind of confused because it was Rui, and then, like, it was him in, like, the, like, kind of blonde, kind of red-haired wig.
That was weird.
And I was like, so, who's who right now? Because, like, at first I thought it was two different characters. And then at the end it's like, oh, that's Rui. I'm like, what?
Because Rui is both a boy's and a girl's name, so it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Well, it is interesting doing something like that, because, you know, we've had gay characters, we have characters like that. Putting in a transvestite character, and I'm glad they never went into his sexuality. Did they try and set something up between him and one of the other characters romantically in season 2? Or... Well, do they? I'm asking you.
The what?
Oi! In season 2, do they try and set up any, like, romantic relationships?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Not so far.
Because I do think it's interesting that they make Rui a transvestite. I never bring up, well, is he gay? Is that just what he likes to do? I mean, he's walking around in a bunny costume, with bunny ears in one episode. I mean, it's Japan, they're cool like that. But I did definitely get this feeling that a lot of stuff could have and should have been gone into with more episodes. Because, like, that final plan there by the red-haired thing, it feels very rushed, and I'm like, I have to remind myself, the final plot takes place over the course of 3 episodes, which is about normal, but I'm just sort of sitting there thinking, we didn't spend any time on this guy. As far as we can tell, his motivation is just destruction, and they're trying to set up this weird rivalry between him and Hajime, and it just went nowhere. Like, it was just talking, and there's so much talking in this. I'm like, look, characters can talk, they should, but it needs to lead somewhere. There's no big final fight. We don't even see how he gets... we don't even see him getting inside her. It's literally just... this is so hard. It's literally...
That's what he said.
No, she's talking to her mom on the phone, and even that I thought we could have gone into a bit more with Hajime's past. It's like, okay, so she's just living on her own in Japan. I can't even tell how old she's supposed to be. I guess 15? Someone made a joke online that I thought was a little pervy but sort of clever. He just goes, okay, do I like Hajime because she's a nice character or because she just has big boobs? I can't tell. And there is some truth to that. I mean, not the boobs part. But it definitely felt like she was very one-dimensional, one-note. I never even felt that she cared that much. And then the other, she's just on her phone and just goes, remember, I'm always me. What's that supposed to mean?
Well, also, when she started off being Gatchaman, she was always carefree and not really took anything seriously. In Season 2, she actually does kind of take things seriously in her own kind of way, but she's still like the charismatic, just I don't really care kind of person, and just takes things as it goes. Because she becomes the mentor of sorts of the new Gatchaman in Season 2, and she, like, the Gatchaman, the new girl, like, starts, like, wonder, like, did I fuck, like, something happens, and she's like, did I fuck up? And then she's like, I'm gonna punish you. And then she's like, look at the sky. And she's like, what? No, let's go. So that's typical Hajime right there. But I mean, it's just the fact that, you know, she does take things seriously, but she doesn't like let things, you know, bother her, and she does do things in her own kind of way. Like in Season 2, when the alien guy, like Bird Katz, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Whenever like he's inside of her, like whenever he's like talking to her while, you know, his conscience is inside of her, all he does is like call her like a bitch, like a cunt, every other like terrible word, and she just like throws him off like it's nothing. So it's like, while it seems like she doesn't take things seriously, she does in her own way and does care about things as well.
Yeah, but I would have liked that she did have some form of a story arc in case, instead of just, I'm here and I have all the answers and I'm basically Little Miss Jesus. I would have liked more of an arc from her. I would have liked more of an apparent arc from all the other characters. I felt like the only character who was ever grew or was any different was A, Ruri, and B, Utsu. You could make the argument the panda was better by the end of it, but no one cares about the fucking panda. The panda!
It's Pai-chan!
Who cares? You're the coward who ran away when he finally had to do something besides sit there and chew scenery. Although, again, before anyone gets on my case, I don't hate this show. I can't even say I disliked it that much. I was just looking forward to a whole lot more. Because you expect something more out of something like this that's trying to be smart, trying to be filler. The stuff with the internet could have gone somewhere in Galax, but I just thought things went nowhere. It was a giant mess. So again, I was just disappointed. What about you? We better wrap this up. We're running out of time.
I pretty much had nothing really bad to say about it. Granted, there were some flaws, and I do wish like, a couple of things were, you know, happened more differently than they did. But, you know, I watched this in 2012, I think?
2013 it came out.
Okay.
When dubstep was popular, so that explains the score choice.
So I watched it in 2013, and I haven't watched it since. So I really have a vague remembering of like what happened exactly. So I'm not really sure if I really like. If I went back, I could probably nitpick and like find stuff that I didn't really like about it. But you know, I remember that I enjoyed it a lot. So there's that. But I don't really have anything bad to say about it.
And again, I don't have anything terrible to say either. Just more of letdowns than anything else. But hey, if you liked it, that's just fine. And again, it sounds that Season 2 really does fix the problems. So we'll get to that when we get to that. So anyways, but what did you think about Gatchaman Crowds? In the comment section below, give us your thoughts on this anime, Season 2, anything else you want to talk about. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe because, like we said, we'll get to Season 2 sometime in the near future.